So we have learned that law of reflection is valid for flat surfaces as well as spherical mirrors. So this is valid. Only thing what changes is the direction of normal. In flat surface there is only one normal and other normals are just parallel to this main normal. But in case of spherical surfaces or spherical mirror, there are multiple normals. And how can we get those normals? First we draw a tangent to that point, and normal to that tangent is the normal to that spherical mirror point on that spherical mirror. So first we will draw a tangent and then we draw a normal to that tangent. So there are infinite number of normals or normal changes at each and every point. Similarly, for a convex mirror, if we want normal to this point, so what we will do? We will first draw a tangent to this point and then we draw a normal to this tangent. At this point, again a tangent and normal to this point, tangent to this point and then normal to this tangent. So there are multiple normal instead of one normal or normals parallel to this main normal. And then we apply the same law of reflection, that means incident angle must be equal to reflection angle. So now let us learn about some other terms. The geometric center of a spherical mirror is called its pole. That of a spherical lens is called its optical center. So if we have this spherical mirror, this is our spherical mirror. So this is the whole stretch, this is A, this is B. So midpoint of this arc AB, this midpoint is called pole. This midpoint is called pole. Now for a lens, this midpoint is called optical center. Here it is called pole. In case of lens, this is called optical center. Optical center. So these are some of the terms that we need to know to learn this chapter. So this is optical center, this is pole. The line joining the pole and the center of curvature of the spherical mirror is known as principal axis. So first of all, let us see what is this center of curvature. What is this center of curvature? Suppose we have a spherical mirror. This is our spherical mirror. So it might be concave mirror or it might be convex mirror. If we complete this circle, then center of this circle is called center of curvature. Center of curvature. Center of this complete circle is called center of curvature. If we have a convex lens, then so let us make this convex lens. So this is our convex lens. Again we will complete this circle and center of this circle is again called center of curvature. So for a convex lens, this is inside or this is center of curvature towards the side of reflecting surface. Here it is towards the side of non-reflecting surface. So this is center of curvature for convex mirror. So now we know what is center of curvature. Now if we have this center of curvature here, this center of curvature, so line joining this center of curvature and this pole is called principal axis. So this is our principal axis. This is our principal axis. And for this convex lens, again it has this pole P and this center of curvature. So line joining these 2 points, we can extend line to up to infinity. So this is principal axis. So line joining this pole and center of curvature is called principal axis. In case of spherical lenses, Principal axis is the line joining the optical center with its principal focus. So we will learn what is the principal focus. Principal focus and optical center line joining these is called principal axis for the lens. But for these spherical mirrors, suppose this is center of curvature, this is pole. So line joining these point is principal axis. If we have this convex mirror, then this is pole. Center of curvature must be on this side. The line joining these 2 points is called principal axis. Here this is non-reflecting side, this is reflecting side. Here this one is non-reflecting side, this is reflecting side. Now let us see some convention that we are going to use in this chapter. What is the sign convention? What are the distances that we take positive? What are the distances that we take in negative? So here we have this x-axis, and this x-axis is the principal axis. This x-axis is the principal axis because somewhere here, if we complete this mirror, so somewhere here we get the center of curvature, because this is non-reflecting side, this is the reflecting side. So this axis is principal axis because it is pole. This is pole, this axis is principal axis. Now the distances towards the right side of this mirror are positive. These distances are positive. Distances against the incident light negative. So this side, left side is negative. As we do in the Cartesian system, positive x is positive, or right x is positive, left x is negative. Similarly, in y axis, upper side is positive, lower side is negative. So this will become positive, this will become negative, this will become negative, and this will become positive, negative, because we always write x coordinate first. So x is positive both side, y is plus, y is minus. Similarly, if we have this principal axis, so distances towards the right side to this mirror are positive, distances towards the left side are negative. Distances above, or any distance or height upwards above this principal axis or upwards is positive, or any distance downward is negative. So this is very similar to Cartesian system. So this is our sign convention. So if this side is x is positive, y is also positive. So this is positive. Here x is positive but y is negative. In this case, x is negative, y is also negative. In this case, in this quadrant, what we have, x is negative, y is positive. So this is very similar to Cartesian system, and we use this terminology. So this is our pole, this is principal axis, this somewhere here is the center of curvature. So height upwards is positive because this is on the positive y side. Height downwards is negative because it is in the negative side. So this is negative. Now distances towards this side is negative, distances to this side are positive, and this is our direction of incident light. So this is our mirror. Another important approximation in this chapter that we will do is we will take this radius of curvature to be very large. So if this radius of curvature is very large, then what will happen? In that case, we can approximate this mirror to a line. This is another important approximation that we will see. Suppose this mirror is AB. This mirror is AB. If this radius of curvature is very large, then this AB can be approximated as this line. and we are assuming that radius of curvature is very large. In that case, this arc AB must be equal to or nearly equal to AB. This approximation we are going to frequently use in this chapter. When we come to lenses, then again we use this lens. We will consider this lens to be thin lens. Thin lens. What is the purpose of using thin lens or saying thin lens? If the lens is thin, this curved length of this curvature or this arc, if this is AB, again this arc AB from this side or this side must be equal to this length AB. So this AB arc for thin lens is also nearly equal to AB. So this is the approximation we are going to use. The radius of curvature is very large. As we see in earth case, the radius is very large. That's why earth looks flat to us, because radius is very large. So we always take this radius of curvature to be large. Hence this arc AB is equal to AB. And in case of lenses, we take thin lens. In thin lens, this AB arc AB is also equal to AB. So these are some of the approximation that we are going to use in this chapter.